Well, I'm finally catching up. We are now through the end of April and May pickups. Some of these are not video games, but maybe video game related, and some other odds and ends and some unique stuff. Of course, the end of April was the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee. Mega Man and I actually ended up going up on a Saturday. Got to hang out with Captain Algebra, Megadan Gaming Off the Grid. Got to say hi to Adam Korlick, talk with him for a little bit, and then met up with Metal Jesus. Well, didn't meet up with him, but at least saw him and the crew. It's been probably 10 years since Matt and I actually saw Metal Jesus when we were still filming for Arcade Impossible. Of course, he didn't remember us at all. Even when I gave him a card from Arcade Impossible with Greg on it, it took him like 5 minutes to actually remember who he was. So it's kind of funny. That's how long it's been since Arcade Impossible's really been on the retro scene. Since we haven't released a episode in probably 3 years, going on 4 years now. So it was kind of funny. And also kind of sad at the same time, just the realization that it's been that long and we've kind of been forgotten by the group. So it was kind of interesting. But my whole thing about going to Midwest Gaming Classic was to not spend any money. I kind of wanted to spend my time just hanging out, playing games. I did end up picking one thing up though. It was only $5, but I thought it was unique, and it was one thing I just had to grab because I had never seen it before, and that is Emmett Belly 13 the show. Now I do already own a copy of this, but not with this cover, and this is what grabbed my attention. I've never seen this cover before. In fact, I posted it on Twitter and asked Vita Island, has anybody have any information on this, because it looks legit. It even says here on the back, not for retail. And it's printed on quality paper, which made me think it was a legit thing, just because I matched it up with another Vita release from the retail, and it almost matched the exact same paper. So I was like, is this official? What is this? What's the story behind it? And all I could get was that people had said that way back in 2013, when this game was being released, on their Facebook page for MLB The Show, they had allowed a download with this color cover for the Vita and the PlayStation 3, and I wasn't able to find it. I could find the PS3 printout, but not the one for the Vita. So I don't know if this is just a one of those, and somebody was really good and found the same paper quality that was used for the retail games, or what the deal is. Some people had said too that it may have been used for promotional stuff, as this was the Korean cover, and not officially released anywhere else. But it does have the ESRB rating on the back side and everything, which, looking at this at first glance, you would never notice that this may have been just a custom print. So I thought that was unique. This will go in just as another variant. It did not come with the game. In fact, it was empty, and all it came with was the code for the online pass, and this is actually the original cover for the retail version, was what you see here. So just something unique, something different. Got a weird story behind it. Even the guy I bought it from had no clue. He figured it did have the game, I guess he said, and somebody may have swiped it out of it. So I asked him if he would just sell me the case with the art for $5, and he said sure. So sticking with the Vita stuff, which I keep saying, I'm done with the Vita, but I've got 6 more, and I've reached my 400 Vita game goal. So this next one is Madoka Magical Girl: The Battle Pentagram by Namco, and Twitter, or Vita Island on Twitter, was chatting about this, saying it was kind of a fun action RPG that you can kind of play and not have to know too much Japanese knowledge, because this isn't exclusive for Japan. So I ended up grabbing it and importing it directly from Japan, just to try it out. So I think that brings me to 394 is what this one would be. And then finally, the end of an era. I finally got Super Meat Boy from Limited Run Games, the last Vita release from them. And a lot of people were a little disappointed by this particular collector's edition, because the standard ones had already went out months ago before this one, and some people still have their collector's edition of this. But the cheap kind of cardboard that's used to house this, there's only one layer of film around it that's holding in the game, the figurine, and the meat tray behind it, which is kind of disappointing, because if you open this, you have no way to really display it, per se. So a lot of people are just leaving it sealed. I'll probably end up doing the same thing because, yeah, even now I don't really have a place to display it to begin with. I'm hoping to get some more shelves in here to kind of clean up some of the stuff, make it more presentable. But it's... And what's funny is the thing that held this up the most was a stupid foam tray, which is the same foam tray you would find at your grocery store. But I guess for whatever reason, that was the reason this was being held up. Included in here is the sticker you see and a poster behind the game. But now I can say that in my hands, I have 100% full set of the limited run Vita collection now. So, yay! Done with that! And then if they release their secret game that they were going to give to all the people who ended up buying all the Vita releases. So if that ever actually exists, or what, I don't know, that may be one more to come, but most people probably aren't going to count that. Finally, a classic one, and this has been years since I picked up this. This is for the Game Gear. And I haven't played a Game Gear game in so many years, it's crazy. I'll probably have to find mine and see if it even still works. It's been such a long time, but I'm a big fan of the Outrun series. And this one is exclusive to the Game Gear in the US, and that's Outrun Europa. This game was only released for the Master System, I believe, in Europe and, gosh, was it Brazil? Something like that. It got a very limited release, but it says by US Gold, but it's kind of a unique past. But check it out, look it up. And of course, I wanted to add it to my Outrun collection because I love the arcade version, love the 3DS version, and the Genesis, of course, I have. And on some of the different ports, like the Genesis collections on the PS4 and all that stuff. So I had to grab that, especially since it was only like 12 bucks at my local store, so might as well. Moving on, I got a bunch of Switch games here, which is kind of depressing. Because I'm not sure how my Switch collection grew this large already as it is. Yeah, it's nuts. Anyway, there was a deal Best Buy and Amazon were having on this one for 20 bucks. I got Doki Literature Club, a thriller visual novel. People were saying it's actually a pretty good read. Of course, I'm aware of some of the scenes that happen in this and the reason for it being censored on the PS4. So, but I got it on the Switch, and I believe this is the one that comes with like some acrylic standees and like a code for the soundtrack or something. But for 20 bucks, felt it was an easy no pass thing. So, and then for the Lewd collection on the Switch, I ended up getting Waifu Discover 2, a shmup game. It looked interesting. I missed out on the first one, and I figured, well, the second one might be a little bit better. So. Growing that lewd collection there on the Switch for that one. The next one, I actually did a review on this for Megavisions. It was a game I was very disappointed in on the PlayStation 4, and then they just recently released it on the Switch. That is Neptunia Cross Senra Kagura Ninja Wars. And of course, I had to get it on the Switch just to support Marvelous and the Senran Kagura girls. If you can find my review on Megavisions, you can see why I was kind of disappointed in this game. I gave it kind of a bad score. The gameplay is solid. It's a nice little hack and slash time waster, but I was disappointed in some of the options that weren't there, and it was very heavily leaning towards Neptunia, and I'm not the biggest Neptunia fan. I've played the games on the Vita and on the PS3, and then after that I just kind of lost interest in that series. But the Senra Kagura series I really enjoy, and I'm really hoping that with as much support as this game is getting, that we may see more of these girls. Then I got a limited run release. I'm a big fan of the Blood Rain series, so I got Blood Rain Betrayal, and I do have the Blood Rain remaster games also coming, but I think those are on PS4. And thinking about it now, it was kind of dumb to get it on the Switch. I should have got it on the PS4 to have all three games on one system, but it is what it is. So, there's that. But I did play this back on the original when it came out on Xbox 360. Fun little side-scrolling hack-and-slash game. This one was redone with a new voice actress and everything on it. So, yeah, figured I'd give it a shot and see how it goes. And another series I'm really big on, this is probably one of my top 5 animes, actually, of all time. That is Record of Lodoss Wars. And this one is DLT Wonder Labyrinth. And I guess this is kind of an uncommon game to find. I pre-ordered these a long time ago. I got it on the Switch, and I got it on the PlayStation 4. And I really wanted to get the ESRB rating because thought it was unique. But two, I played this on Game Pass, and I got all 1,000 gamer score on it. So I figured since I could do that, I could platinum this game on the PS4, which I did. And I don't often platinum games, so I was super happy. Just goes to show that I really liked this game. It's very much a Castlevania clone, Symphony of the Night clone, most people compare it to. It is fairly short. I ended up beating this in about 33, 34 hours, which really wasn't horrible. But I enjoyed my time with it. That's why I played it twice. And then I have it a third time on the Switch if I want to. But I highly recommend if you could find a copy of this game or get it digitally or however you can, give it a shot. But one that's really high on my list. Probably one of my favorite games of 2022. Sticking with the PS4, I got Death Smiles 1 and 2 from Strictly Limited, one of my favorite shmups. I loved the crap out of Death Smiles 1 on the Xbox 360. I have not played the second game yet, so looking forward to that. This took a while for it to come in. I actually pre-ordered this way back when we were at Midwest Gaming Classic in November. So it finally came in. Super happy about that. And of course, as per usual with Strictly Limited, they sent a little postcard with some nice gothic art of the girls in the front, which I thought was pretty cool. And the last game pickup I have, Matt actually found this at Goodwill, I think, or Salvation Army. I can't remember which one, but he called me up and said, "Hey, I found this Dreamcast game I've never heard of. Is it really a Dreamcast game?" And I said, yes. And that is Feet of Fury, which is kind of a DDR clone for the Dreamcast. One of the first indie titles for the Dreamcast that came out. You can find this on the GOAT store still to this day. It's kind of common, but I don't collect indie games too often. But Matt said he found it for a really great price. So he asked if I was interested, and I said yes. Because it's one that I don't have for the Dreamcast collection. Not that I'm huge on chasing those indie games down, but I thought it would be fun. So, non-game, but game-related, Mega Matt also found the soundtrack to Persona 5. This is the one that came with the Collector's Edition when the game first came out. And for whatever reason, it was loose, so he snagged it for me. This has 19 tracks on it, and I love the soundtrack in Persona 5. So I'm going to actually pop this in and see if I can rip some of the music to this. But I really enjoy that. I'm really excited I actually got that. And then another favorite series of mine, Darkstalkers. This is the OVA anime that has been released now. This will be the third time. I actually have the first print run, which came on 2 DVDs. And then the collection that came on DVD about maybe 10 years ago. So now they upscaled it, cleaned it up a little bit for Blu-ray. So excited to watch it again for the 50th time, I guess. But I do enjoy the series, or the OVA. It's not the greatest, but it's not horrible. I love the art in it, and it does stay very faithful to the characters. I love the fact here on the back we have Morgan and Felicia, if it'll focus. Some beautiful art there. I really like that design. And this mostly follows the Darkstalkers 2 or Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge game. So it'll be the second game in the series, which is pretty cool. And that is still available on Amazon and other places. So I also managed to find the limited edition of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 soundtrack. Of course, this is missing some of the official Sega Sonic theme music used in the movie, just like with the first soundtrack of the first movie. But yeah, since it was kind of limited, I jumped on it because fear of missing out, I guess. I don't know if it's still available or not. I've had it for quite a while now, but it was laying around. Again, another game or another soundtrack I need to rip to my computer. And then once more, back to Limited Run, they were releasing these booster packs and hobby boxes of their collector cards. And the reason I wanted to grab the hobby box was it came with some extras that you don't get in the booster packs. So in here was actually a patch from Limited Run. Then there is a autographed card, and I ended up getting Josh Fairhurst's card, who is one of the owners. on a gold card, which I thought was kind of unique. And then the one main reason why I wanted to get the hobby box is it came with a Vita cartridge label. So they basically took the label and slapped it on the card and called it a day. This is Octodad. Actually, if the camera may or may not focus. Well, whatever. I'm not going to make it, but you can kind of make it out. But I'm not sure how many of those actually exist. Be surprised to kind of find out what that number is. I'll have to get some sort of protector case and display that Vita label up there with my Vita collection. But that was the whole purpose of getting this. Came with 25 cards. Probably trade with a few friends who have these because there's like Night Trap cards in here and stuff. So yeah, that was the whole purpose of getting that one. Lastly, Mega Man also found this at our local game store, Girl Lancer Illustration Archive. This was a game released by Working Designs on the PlayStation 2, and this was separate from that, was not included as far as I can recall in the PlayStation 2 release. This covers the Girl Lancer 2, 3, 4, and Generations that was released. But I love Satoshi's artwork. I have several of his stuff laying around here, and I really love the Girl Lancer series. Again, common theme, picking up games of series that I really like. But I thought that was exciting because I'd never seen this before, and they were only asking $6 for it, so I figured I'd grab it. So there's that. And the last two things that I ended up picking up, I can't really bring over because they're heavy, but you can see them right here next to me. These are the Sega Arcade Sega Naomi, which was part of the Dreamcast family. And then below it is the Sega Ring Edge 2, which is one of their most modern arcade systems, which you'll find like Dead or Alive 5, Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax, Blade Arcus, Cladrius Blaze, all run on this system. So I have that set up as a multi, so I can switch between those games. Same with the Naomi. There's a lot of Dreamcast games on this guy, and some unique ones that were never released to console. I will be streaming some of these games from time to time on my Twitch channel and possibly here on YouTube. I'll probably be doing a video on both of these because they actually took me a while to get working because there's a bunch of weird things you have to do to set them up and play them. I can actually play them with a standard PlayStation 4 arcade stick and not have to have a cabinet for them. So pretty cool stuff. I'll probably do a video on each of those at some point. But yeah. That's it for this last month and a half, really, I should say, April and May of 2022. So that's it. As always, I thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.